Hey friends, it's Rana and today it is the third and last video of my three-part videos for my reading plans for 2020. So when I was looking at my 2020 reading stats and preparing for the New Year's reading plans, I discovered that I actually didn't read that much fantasy and sci-fi in 2020, which was really surprising because I love binge reading fantasy and sci-fi series. And aside from reading comics and rereading older series, I read zero new fantasy or sci-fi series in 2020. So I decided I'm gonna fix that by challenging myself to binge read 12 book series over 12 months of the next year. That means I'm gonna binge read a whole series, reading it from the first book till the last book that is published, if it is not a finished series, each month. Because that's what I really enjoy doing, is binge reading fantasy or sci-fi series. I assigned each series of these 12 series a specific month for me to binge read in, but because I'm a big mood reader, there is a high chance of me not sticking to this arrangement. But I can assure you that I'm gonna read all of these series in 2021, even if it is not in this order. 10 of these series are a first read for me and 2 of them are a reread. And the first reread is the Wayward Children series. I'm planning to reread the 5 previous books of the series in preparation for the new 6th one. So the 6th book is gonna be published in January and I'm planning to binge read the whole series in that month. The second series that I'm planning to reread in 2021 is the Harry Potter book series. I think in 2021 is the third year of me doing an annual reread of this series because I discovered that I really enjoy doing that. I actually never read Harry Potter when I was a child. The first time that I read it, I think I was 20 years old, and I'm planning to reread this series every year or so because I really enjoy doing that. And I'm planning to reread it in the month of June. Now for the book series that I'm gonna read for the first time ever in 2020, the first one is going to be the Gentleman Bastard series. I was planning to read the series for a very long time. I actually had the first book for over a year now and I didn't read it yet. I was really afraid, and I'm still am, of being attached to the series when it is not even done yet, because it is supposed to be a 7-book series and only 3 are out. The first one was published in 2006. Yeah, because apparently the author Scott Lynch only published a new book in the series once in a blue moon, and I can do that to my little heart if I get attached to the series and like it. But last week I finally decided that I'm gonna binge read it in 2021, even if it is not done yet. So I bought the second book and the third book in the series because it seems everyone who read this series love it. Even my sister, who doesn't read that much, read the first one and loved it, and she is currently reading the second one, and you can actually see the bookmark. And I don't want her to spoil it for me because she can't hold her tongue. So I'm planning to finally read it in the month of March. The next book series is Daughters of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. Okay, don't look at me like that. I know what you are thinking. Rana reading a book with romance in it? What? The synopsis just intrigued me about evil angels and all that jazz. It reminded me of one of my favorite series, Angel Fall, and if it is as dark and as creepy as Angel Fall, I bet I'm gonna like it. Besides, I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone a little bit by reading books with romance in them. Not romance books, but books with romance in them, especially fantasy books with romance, because it is more easy for me to enjoy them rather than full-on romance books. Anyway, I'm planning to read Daughters of Smoke and Bone in July. The next one is Scythe by Neil Chesterman. This one is a YA sci-fi fantasy. All Neil Chesterman's books have very interesting ideas, so I'm going to start with his most popular series, Scythe. As far as I know about this series, according to what I heard from other booktubers who love the series, it is about a world where there is no hunger, no disease, no war, so no death. So there are Scythes who are in charge of taking people's lives to keep the population under control. I'm looking forward to see what all the hype is about, and I'm planning to binge read this one in April. The next one is Winter's Curse by Mary Radkowski, another fantasy romance. Surprise, surprise. As I said, I really want to try to get out of my comfort zone. And this one I don't really know much about. All I know about it is that it is about a general's daughter who needs to pick between either getting married or to join the military. And she also, I think, falls in love with a slave or something like that. I don't know. I will know when I read it. I read Winter's Curse in February. The next one is The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. This one is an adult fantasy dystopian. It won many important awards, and it is by a Black author. That's what all I need to know. I read the synopsis long time ago, but I actually can't remember anything from it. But that's okay, because I prefer going into my books knowing absolutely nothing, and I plan to read it in August. Hey, it's Future Anna. When I was editing this video, I found out that I forgot to mention one of the 12 series, and I'm here to quickly jump in and tell you about it. The series in question is Mistborn: The Aloe Era by Brandon Sanderson. It is like the sequel for the first Mistborn trilogy, which I read last year, and I really love it. I think it is one of my favorite series of all times. Nothing will ever beat the ending of this series for me. I think it is the most satisfying ending I ever read. And the second era, the Aloe Era or something like that, it is set, I think, 300 years after the ending of this one. I'm very excited for this one. I'm planning to read it in the month of September after reading the short novella Secret History, of course. The next one is Renegades by Melissa Meyer. I read the Lunar Chronicles 4 years ago and I really loved it. And I also read Heartless by Melissa Meyer and also loved it. So I'm planning to read this one and anticipating that I'm gonna enjoy it. All I know that it is about renegades who are people with super abilities, like they are like superheroes, and they are like villains and vengeance and all that good shit. I'm planning to read Renegades in the month of October. The next one is The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson, another YA fantasy romance, and it is the last one, I swear. It is about a runaway princess who decides to run away the day of her wedding, and she is being chased by two men, the prince she was supposed to get married to and an assassin sent to kill her. We don't know who is who, nor does she. I heard many great things about the series from Reagan over from Peru's Project. She really loved the series. She says that it is full of action and political intrigue, and I trust her with everything. So I'm pretty excited for this one, and I'm planning to read it in the month of November. Next we have City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. This one, a historical fantasy set in 18th century Cairo, following a con woman who accidentally summons a warrior genie. I only read that and it sold it for me because recently I read The Golem and the Genie and I really love that. I really want to read something similar to it. I'm planning to read it in the month of December. Last but not least, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. I watched all the movies when I was young. Granted, I can't remember much from them except for Aslan. And it feels kinda weird to have not read one of the most popular and most loved fantasy classics ever. So I decided to finally read it, and I'm gonna read it in the month of May. So that's it for today's video. I hope you liked it. Please subscribe to see my future videos and I will see you next time. Bye!